Ahoy there, YouTube! We're back again today for another game review, a special tag team review. High fives. I'm here with my son, Sean.
What's up?
He's helped me review quite a few times before. And Luke.
Hi, Luke.
On his very first review. And today, we're going to be checking out my first
Castle Panic
from Fireside Games. This is for 1 to 4 players, ages 4+. It will take you about 15 to 20 minutes to play. And what are you going to be doing in my first Castle Panic, Sean?
You're going to be sending out soldiers to kill bad guys. There's 3 big bad guys.
Yep, you're going to be sending out soldiers, not necessarily kill them, but to capture them, but we know what's going to happen to them. They're going to be in there until they die.
And they go in the dungeon.
Yeah, they go into the dungeon, which is actually the game box. So this is a children's version of the immensely popular Castle Panic, which I have in my collection. I really do enjoy it, but does it hit the mark? Let's open it up, and I'll tell you what we think. Alrighty then, we're going to take a look at what's going to get inside of my first Castle Panic. So first and foremost, here are our handy-dandy rules. 1-page, double-sided, full-color pictures, illustrations, examples. Very well done. Should have you up and running in no time at all. And big thumbs up on the rule booklet. Also has variations for if you kids want to play it by themselves, which they absolutely can, making it easier, making it harder. So big thumbs up on the rules. So in my first Castle Panic, you are going to be trying to prevent these terrible, terrible little orcs from running all the way up here, smashing into your walls, and then eventually smashing into your castle and destroying your castle. You're all going to be working together cooperatively to make sure that doesn't happen. How does it work? Let's go over the components, then we'll get into the gameplay. So first, component-wise, we have our board right here. We have this easy-to-assemble castle and the easy-to-assemble wall. We're also going to start with 3 ogres on the board. They have the stars on them. We're going to put the rest of the ogres over here face down in a pile. I have 3 of them face up, so I can show you the special ogres that are in there. Then you're going to have this stack of cards, which you're going to shuffle up, and you're going to deal 1 card to every player. So let's just pretend I'm playing a 2-player game with this person over here. And now we're ready to get rock and roll. Oh, and last but not least, you want to keep the box handy because it is the dungeon in which you're going to be throwing the ogres once you capture them. So on your turn, what are you going to do? Everybody gets a handy-dandy little player aid card. So the first thing, draw 1 card from the draw pile. So boom, draw 1, and this is actually a special card because normally it only has 1 thing on it, like a green triangle or a blue triangle, but this has any square. So red square, green square, or blue square. So that's kind of like a wild. It's a really good character. There's also a couple other special ones I want to show you in here while I'm doing it. This is any circle you would like. This one lets you take a bad guy off the board and put him back into the pile, which is great, especially if they're about to crash into your castle. This one is going to allow you to rebuild the wall, but not all these cards are going to come up in a game, so each game will be slightly different. And there's also ones that can be any shape of a particular color. So, on your turn, you draw your 1 card, then you're going to play 1 card from your hand or ask for help from another player, because this is a completely cooperative game, so it is in your best interest to help someone out. So right now, I have a green triangle, which means I could destroy a monster if it was right here on the green triangle space, but it's not. Luckily, I got this guy who works on any of the squares, including the blue square, so boom, get him, take him to the dungeon, and then put this into the discard pile. Next, we're going to move the monsters. Boop, boop, and then we're going to draw 1 monster token. Now, when you draw a monster token, you're going to take a look at it. This is an average one. These are the ones you always want to see. There are 3 special ones that will each have their own rule, and I'll show you their rules. So let's pretend I drew a shover. What does he do? He goes on the board, and he shoves every single person 1 space forward. So he is really stinking deadly. Next, we have the Marcher, who is going to make it so that everyone marches 1 space forward, but being even worse than the shover, you also have to draw another tile, which introduces you to the Runner. And the Runner, he's going to cut in front of everybody and go right to the front of the line. So, let's move on to the next turn. Draw 1 card. He would probably destroy this guy, because obviously he's all the way at the front. Move that over there. Everybody moves 1 space forward, and then we would draw another card, and it's that guy. Now, eventually what will happen is someone will get all the way to that spot right there, and let's pretend that they move. So what happens when they move? Well, everybody moves forward 1 space as per normal, but he, bam, crashes into the castle wall, destroying it, also knocking himself out, so he ends up going to Ogre Prison. And now all we have left is the castle, which means if someone else gets up here and runs into the castle, then the castle is destroyed, and you have lost My First Castle Panic. How do you win the game? Well, you have to destroy all of the ogres. Not just the ogres over here, but also the ogres on the board. If you can destroy all the ogres on the board, then you will be the winner of My First Castle Panic. And that, in a nutshell, is how the game is played. Alrighty then, My First Castle Panic from Fireside Games. What are our final thoughts? Let's go over the pros. Let's go over the cons. We're going to start on the con side. So is there anything about this game you didn't like, Sean?
No.
Okay, no, he didn't dislike anything. Luke, was there anything about this game that you didn't like?
The zombies.
You didn't like the ogres coming at us?
Yeah.
Wrecking into our castles?
Yeah.
All right, well, I obviously going to be somewhat more critical. So this is for primarily, I'd say, ages 3 to about 8 or 9. Because Luke is 3 years old, and you had a lot of fun with the game, didn't you, buddy? I brought it into my classroom and played it with some of the kids that were 6, 7, 8 years old. It went over really well. But I think once you start getting to the age 10 and the age 11, I think there's more games that are going to be a better fit for your kids. So this game does have a somewhat limited window. Also, I would like to see more cards that do some different things. Because I know they have the 2 cool cards that let you rebuild the wall and then also let you take a monster out. And I know they want to keep this as simple as possible. But don't you think some new cards would be a little bit cooler, Luke?
Yeah. I made that.
So maybe like some cards that you could mix in that would do some different things that would still be obvious. Another con, the monsters. I really liked the 3 cool monsters. You remember the cool monsters? Do you want to tell the people the cool monsters?
The runner. The runner is like, hey, and he just runs in the front.
Runs all the way to the front.
And there's the shover.
Yep.
Who makes everybody
Shove.
who makes everybody go forward in the marcher.
The marcher's the worst, though.
Yeah.
I know, okay.
He makes you like he pushes.
He shoves you kind of forward, and then you draw another tile.
Yeah.
So we would like to see maybe some more tiles in, or maybe even if you could take out 2 and put in 2 different ones. I think that'd be really good to add some new tiles and some new cards. I would love to see an expansion for this game that bumped up the variety just a little bit, even though I do, as I'm going to tell you, really enjoy the game. So any other things that we didn't like about the game? You're going to be doing the same thing over and over again, right? And sometimes you'll draw cards that aren't going to help you. So that is a bummer sometimes. There are some interesting choices being made, but for the most part, this is a very straightforward, narrow game. Most of the time, the choice is obvious that you should make, but when you're playing with younger kids, it's fun to watch, let them make the choices they want to make. And when they finally make a good choice, like I remember there was this one time we were playing where I was like, why did you take out this ogre instead of that ogre? And you're like, well, that ogre's in the front, and he's going to more likely to crash. And I was like, there you go. That's strategy right there, buddy. That's what's up. But let's talk about the pros. I think we're on to the pros. Did you like Castle Panic, Luke? My First Castle Panic.
But I don't know.
You don't know? Well, I remember you telling me that you really, really liked the game. You wanted to play it again and again and again. You remember that? Yeah. Luke, Sean, did you really like My First Castle Panic?
I liked everything.
Yes. And so it's really hard, especially when you're talking with kids, to gauge where they would rank games. But I always try to get Sean to do that. And your favorite game of all time was Rhino Hero, right? Mm-hmm. But you said you'd rather play this than Rhino Hero.
Yep. Now this is my favorite game.
You like this better than My Little Scythe? You like this better than Silly Shenanigans or Rhino Hero or Magic Feathers or any of the Hoppa stuff? Oh, man. Okay. His favorite game. And you've probably played 50 to 100 games, right, buddy? You played a lot.
And that's the way you went up there.
Yeah, we have the regular version of Castle Panic, which we'll play later. That's another pro that I want to talk about. This is a nice game where you can introduce the concepts, some of the very basic concepts, like having to protect the castle, and then eventually, I'm hopefully going to introduce him to my regular version of Castle Panic sometime soon as well. Luke, did you like the pictures in this? Did you like the artwork, the ogres and the heroes and stuff?
Yeah.
What was your favorite picture in there? Wait, I know. Did you like the dungeon?
No, I like the stinky mouse and that.
Yeah, he really liked... So the insert of the box, they put an actual dungeon, which is just an added nice little touch. It helps with the theme of the game. And it goes a long way in a children's games. Little things like that go a really long way. And we spent probably about 5 minutes just looking at the dungeon, right? Mm-hmm. Making up silly stories about the dungeon, which you're going to do with your kids. I like the fact that the castle actually stands up, too. Did you like that, boys?
Yeah.
I like the wall. I just really enjoyed this game. Slap a Bauer's best seal on it. That's for when I give a game higher than a 9. Yeah, so Slap a Bauer's best seal on it. This is a must own children's and families game. If you have kids age 3 to, I'd say, about 7 years old, absolutely want to check this one out. I think your kids are going to have a lot of fun with it. Okay, he's going to go get a drink of water, so now it's just us two. Yeah?
Can I tell them my favorite picture?
Go for it.
My favorite picture was the marcher because they like that they put the trumpet.
Yeah, they put the trumpet. He's like, get moving, but you also come with us. So there you go. That is my first Castle Panic for Fireside Games. If it looks like it might be your cup of tea, trust me, it is. It's an outstanding children's game. This is going directly into our collection for a very long time. Hopefully I'll be playing it with your grandkids one day. It's crazy to think about. But if you enjoyed what we're doing, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below. If you want to support the channel, click on the Amazon link down below. Buy anything at Amazon. It throws a couple pennies our way. Really does help support the channel. And in the comments below, let me know if you could have one thing in the whole wide world that would fit into the palm of your hands. What would it be? So something that would fit into your hands. What do you want?
I want a lot of things.
There's only one thing, and it fits in the palm of your hand. What is it?
One of Moria's balls.
You want one of the Moira balls? Okay. So Moira is a character from Overwatch. Do you want the healing ball or the hurting ball?
I want both balls.
Okay. So he wants a hurting ball, which I don't know what you're going to do with it. I'm, quite frankly, not the biggest fan of that idea. And a healing ball, which would be great. You just throw it into like a hospital or something. Let it bounce around.
Actually, I want to be Lucio.
Okay, that's not the equation anyway. For me personally, something that would fit in my hand, which was the question. Oh, hey, Luke's back. I would like a giant stack of $100 bills, like as many as I could hold. I know that's such an adult answer. Luke, do you want to answer the question? What if you could have anything that would fit into your hand? What would you want?
I don't know.
Well, would you like chocolate?
There's chocolate.
Chocolate. All right, so we got chocolate, money, and healing and hurting orbs. But what would you want to have if you could have anything that would fit in your hands? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.